Introducing Eugena swimwear, where confidence meets elegance. Feel sexy, feel empowered with Eugena, the embodiment of swimwear fashion. Made from premium quality materials, Eugena swimwear hugs your curves in all the right places, ensuring a perfect fit and ultimate comfort. Eugena swimwear designed for the modern woman who knows how to make a splash.
But let me tell you about one of my favorites, Greg Valentine.
Greg Valentine? Never heard of him.
That's surprising. He was a huge star back in the 80s. He went back to the WWF in 1984 when Vince McMahon was just starting to expand the company nationally.
And how did he do?
He did great. His first manager was Captain Lou Albano, and then he was managed by Jimmy Hart.
Sounds like he had a great team.
He did. And he won the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship in 1984. He defeated Tito Santana in a brutal match that really showed off his skill.
Wow.
And he didn't just win the title, he kept it for months. He feuded with the Junkyard Dog, who was one of the most popular wrestlers at the time. Welcome back to the Mania, folks. We've got a titanic clash on our hands tonight.
Indeed, Gorilla. In the back with Mean Gene is the reigning WWF Intercontinental Champion, Greg Valentine.
Greg is set to face JYD tonight. What's his game plan?
I'll tell you, Gorilla. Tonight, Junkyard Dog is gonna find out why I'm the master. I hit him and nail him harder than anybody else. I'm the hammer, and the hammer, and the hammer hits nails.
Valentine is lean, mean, and full of fighting fury. But JYD is no slouch either.
Let's hear from Junkyard Dog himself.
Gibberish, gibberish, weasel, gibberish, gnaw on a bone, gibberish, gibberish.
What in the blazes is JYD talking about?
I believe he's referring to Jimmy Hart. The Weasel moniker isn't associated with Bobby Heenan yet.
Well, there you have it. Junkyard Dog is clearly motivated, but can he overcome the hammer?
Time will tell, Jesse. Time will tell. Why didn't they just put a muzzle on his promo? It was just plain weird.
I know, right? Jay White enters as the first superstar in this Peacock edit to enter with music, and it just sounds dead with the edit.
They have to basically kill the natural crowd sound so they can play the recording of Grab Them Cakes, which is weird because that didn't come out until their very first WWF-produced album, The Wrestling Album, on November 9th, 1985.
As you mentioned before, we're still a bit early in the maturation of the WWF as a product where they would even consider those kind of things while putting on a show. Right now, this is a live event. A live event, a live arena event that's on closed-circuit TV. This isn't a TV tape production.
A lot of shucking and jiving with the JYD against the hammer as he grabs those wrists. Hammer misses a forearm drop, which allows Junkyard Dog to do his famous headbutt on all fours, which, watching it now, seems to be a little more dangerous for the attacker.
You might as well have given him a taxi and ram his head into something else with all the speed and momentum that's going to hurt him. Greg Valentine drops JYD and works the left leg of one Sylvester Ritter. He stretches out those ligaments and warms that leg up for the figure four.
Hey, Jesse, what made Junkyard Dog so popular as a grappler?
Well, Gorilla, he had that charisma, you know. He would cut promos that got people fired up.
Yeah, he's like Dusty Rhodes in that way. He wasn't speaking the Queen's English, but he had a swagger that made people relate to him. He was the everyman.
And Bill Watts booked him brilliantly. He brought in the African-American audience, and anyone who got heat on the dog was red hot. People wanted to see them get their comeuppance.
I remember when Michael Hayes blinded him. That was one of the greatest angles in wrestling history.
Yes, sir. It drew huge money back then. JYD was a special talent, gorilla. He had that it factor.
Jesse, you gotta tell me, what also was about Junkyard Dog that made him so special?
Well, gorilla, it was his unique combination of size, power, and charisma. He was a true larger-than-life figure.
But he didn't always get the push he deserved. I remember when he came to Vince.
Vince didn't value him as a top babyface. It befuddles me how he was able to live off the steam of that run for so long.
Yeah, but in terms of payback, everybody wanted to see him come back.
That's because he was printing money in the territories.
I still can't believe how he was able to do that without a real push.
He just had that it factor, gorilla. The fans loved him. Oh, now JYD smells the victory like he smells dog food.
And Valentine goes down with a Ric Flair flop. Oh my goodness, folks, what did we just witness here?
Amazing, gorilla. Valentine's sneaky tactics were exposed by Tito Santana, and Junkyard Dog has won by count out.
Wait a minute, Jesse. I'm getting word from backstage that JYD does not win the title.
That can't be right, gorilla. He clearly deserved it after that cowardly move by Valentine.
Apparently, it's a technicality. The rule states that a title can only change hands via pinfall or submission.
That's ridiculous. This whole thing was orchestrated by Valentine and Jimmy Hart. They knew what they were doing.
Well, Jesse, sometimes the rules of the game work against the good guys. But make no mistake, JYD proved his dominance tonight.
You're right, gorilla. Even though he didn't win the title, he sent a message to everyone in this building. Greg Valentine is a cheater, and Jimmy Hart is a weasel. They may have called this Intercontinental Championship match, but it was more like a glorified bathroom break.
I know, right? The title had so much more prestige back in the day, before TV made it easy for champions to get beat all the time.
Greg Valentine was just wasting our time with that legwork, and Junkyard Dog was just standing around doing nothing.
And then that cheap roll-up finish. Using the ropes? That's the kind of thing you see in a bar fight, not at the biggest wrestling event of the year.
I don't know why Valentine even bothered. He could have just taken the count out and saved us the trouble.
It was a total waste of time. I would have rather watched paint dry.
And that Tito Santana guy, such a goody-goody. Of course he's going to believe the ref when he tells him about the ropes.